you are. Welcome again to the Just Joshin Show. Show 6.
David and Josh.
And you can hear some music in the background. This is a tribute because the name of this show is going to be 6 Days on the Road. You hear it. That's George Thorogood, an old-time rocker, I believe from Detroit area. Played hardcore music back then when I was in high school. And this is a tribute to all the truckers up and down the road that are bringing supplies to your local stores. Without them, you wouldn't be getting anything. I don't know if any of you have really noticed many empty shelves at stores. I went in a Walmart store earlier today. I had to do an inspection there, and that was the first time I'd ever noticed a Walmart store with empty shelves, quite a few. And I remember a few days ago I saw a tweet and had a picture of an old man in some store about to cry, everything empty. So it's something that America has never, since who knows when, maybe the early 1900s perhaps. Be a good question. Could have been the tidbit, but Josh already had some.
Yeah, I already got some.
The last time there was empty stores, massive empty stores. Now I'm hearing in certain areas, like if you get out in rural areas away from cities, it may not be that way. But most people are having trouble, as we've talked over the past couple shows, toilet paper, hand sanitizer. That's why I couldn't make my hand sanitizer. I promise viewers are still no supplies. But we did give a shout out to the truckers. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate every viewer, wherever you're at. As we told you every time, we just want you to view. Give us your comments. If you've got constructive criticism, if you hate us, hey, let us know. We're big guys. We can handle it. No sweat. So, anyway, from the last show, the tidbit that we had that time was if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, not the food you like, not the food you think tastes bad, but the one that would be healthiest for you. I asked the question, what one food, one item would that be? And Josh, I don't tell him, I've already told him. It is potatoes. Potatoes. And I mean, most people like potatoes. Some I know, not being racist or anything, but wasn't it the Irish that brought them or something? And now, if there's one state that's known for it, it's Idaho. So we'll give a shout out to you people in Idaho. You got some good potatoes. But there was a gentleman, and I believe his name was Matthew Taylor. Let me verify. You can look him up. And Matthew Taylor was the man. Andrew Taylor. Sorry, Andrew. Andrew Taylor, in the year 2016, ate nothing but potatoes. A combination of sweet potatoes and white potatoes.
So he would mix it up a little bit.
He had both kinds. Now, he did take some supplements of B12 for energy. But, and I don't like this actor at all. I don't like most actors. If you've heard me, if you've ever seen the show The Martian, with little fruitcake liberal Matt Damon, I think when he was on Mars in that show, that's what his number one thing was to do. I think so. That's all that he could get to grow there. If somebody's seen that and I don't remember it right, please let me know. So that's something to think about. Okay, at this point, Josh is going to tell you about the next tidbit.
All right. So the next tidbit, in accordance with what we're going to be, or at least I'm going to be talking today about, it has to do with comic books. So it's a little comic book trivia for any of you, comic book aficionados.
Yeah,
we had some telepathy there. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah. The trivia question is, what was the last foe the Batman faced off against in the comics before the reboot of 2011? So yeah, that's the question you guys need to be thinking about. If you know the answer, if you want to take a guess, go ahead and leave it in the comments below.
Who was Batman's last foe before what he called the reboot of 2011? Just for my opinion, I'm not a comic, but what does the reboot of 2011, what was that?
Well, I think that it seemed like actually I would say, like established series seemed to do a reboot around the date of around the year of 2011. I don't know why this is, because the Batman comics and other comics like Superman and other stuff, they've been around since the 1930s.
Well, you just made me think of something. I heard this a few years ago. There was an auction somewhere, I want to say in Alaska, and wasn't it 1943? Was that the original Batman? Anyway, somebody found that.
Oh, that's right. It was the 1940s.
Somebody found it whenever it was, and it sold for like $40,000.
Of course, the first appearance Batman made was what originally was the Detective Comics. Now there was the Batman, and up until the reboot of 2011, that's what he appeared in. He appeared in Detective Comics, which he kind of took it over as the main character in that. But there also was a Batman comic book series alongside of the Detective Comics one.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you knew that, but Batman is supposedly in his universe. He's the greatest detective that
I didn't know it, but I think I might have told you this today. I was more of a Batman fan than Superman, but I've never been that much into it. Well, anyway, we're going to move on for that, and then we're going to come back to Josh, and he'll give you some of that update about the current trend of whatever's going on. And just to give you a quick coronavirus update, Chinese coronavirus is what I still call it, like the president. It started in China. Can't stand people being politically correct, saying that hurts their feelings. Well, ask people in Connecticut, because I heard this today. I didn't know it before. Did you? Lyme disease. Lyme, Connecticut's where that happened. One guy gets bit with a tick, and so that whole place is known for that. Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I mentioned the Spanish flu. You name it. So don't get your feelings hurt over something. If that's where it started, and it did start there, let's just be honest. Let's call things as we see them. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, so now I think it's day 8 and Mike Pence, the vice president, has been the one that has this program going, 15 days to slow the spread. I believe we're in day 8, which means we're halfway there. Unfortunately, in a lot of cities, they're in New York, they're not doing what they need to do. You people, if we get any viewers in New York, I feel for you, but you're not staying in. And there's a lot of other places. We had some fruitcakes last week at the beach, our favorite place, Florida. They may run that because they wouldn't stay away. And so all these places that people are going out, it's causing this to continue to spread. So who knows? We might have been done at 15 days. Now, we really don't know, because as I've showed you, that bell-shaped curve, if we get one of those, the peak like that, it's going to go a long time. If we can do like South Korea and flatten the curve, we're in a lot better shape. But I heard somebody say yesterday we were moving more towards Italy, which is a shame. And also, these things that, man, I lost my train of thought. Maybe a little thing with AIDS. I've tried to kind of find some new methods of stopping that. But I had a perfect thought right before that about the spreading it, and I didn't say it, and now I forgot. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Maybe, I'm not a senior, but maybe it's a senior moment.
Maybe get a senior discount.
Give me a senior discount. That's right, Josh Goodman, just joshing. Anyway, what I was going to say now is the numbers, and this was the numbers right before we began this show. Currently in our state, Arkansas, no deaths, thank the Lord, but there's 174 cases. In our county, there's 58, Pulaski County. United States as a whole, 31,573. And worldwide, 294,110 cases. It's not deaths, but that's cases. So it's continuing to spread, particularly Italy's number 1 now, Spain number 2, and unfortunately Americans, us in the United States, are number 3 that this is affecting. And we've got to put a stop to it, people. Now, I know some people have been out of jobs, and I thought I just had that coming back to me. What that little, okay. Here's what. So I've corrected the senior moment. I heard today, and I'll give him some credit, Matt Couch up in Northwest Arkansas. He's the one that had that little, remember that video I showed the other day about the crack?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's kind of inappropriate, so I won't mention here. But he tweeted earlier today that in some place, if people were gathering in 10 or more people, somebody was calling in and calling the police on them or somebody. And he basically asked the question, what are we getting to Nazi Germany? That's what that sounds like, the brown shirts. But it's because people won't self-quarantine, won't stay in. We've stayed in every day a lot with our families. We have to work a little bit. We've been praying a lot, playing games, spending time together. Had a good time, haven't we, Josh? Made the most of it. Okay, and finishing up, my last little note here would be about the schools. I heard just before I came in from my route today, the third state, Virginia, is going to close in-person schools, students going to school for the rest of the year, following First it was Kansas and then California. So far, 3 states. Look for that to pick up and continue. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Josh.
All right, so what I want to talk about, if you didn't know already, Marvel is the biggest, most well-known comics book franchise or producer right now, wouldn't you say? And they've been that way for a long time.
Probably so. I've seen the name around for years, yeah.
They made people like, Spider-Man, Hulk, like really well-known, beloved comic book superheroes and characters, Stan Lee, the main guy who made a lot of those characters, he passed away in recent years. I don't know exactly what year it was. I think it might have been 2019. Can't be too certain. But anyways, now they're coming out with it's a reboot of a series that they did in the 90s called The New Warriors, and they're calling them the New Warriors. And what it is it's in the Marvel universe, they've passed a law where teenagers can't be superheroes. And so
who passed the law? Is that make-believe or real?
It was the superheroes who
they
grew up,
okay.
And they're now adults. They passed the law for some reason. But anyway, so the new
news.
Not the new heroes.
Not the new, but the
original new heroes.
The original new, the first new, not the second.
They are training new.
Here comes
warriors. The new warriors.
Warriors.
So I've already seen it. And I'll share my opinions on them as we go. But here's what we've got to work with. All right. So first off, we're gonna start with. I don't know if she's the leader, but she's the first one they talked about. Her name. You see her?
Yeah. Looks like a fruitcake.
Her name is Trailblazer. And she's obviously Native American.
Inuit.
Yep. Or Eskimo.
And I don't have anything against them. It's just,
she's a little bit overweight, wouldn't you say?
Bit chunky, but that's like, what's her name, Lizzo, that hefty singer. Don't fat shame anybody. It's okay. I believe in work it out. Keep yourself healthy if you can. But, some people can't. So be it.
Alright, and so here's what her superpower is. Now, she doesn't actually, have a superpower. It's more, she has a magic backpack that she got from her grandpa when he died.
Grandpa!
And she can pull random stuff out of it that may or may not help with the situation.
Man! Here, what I got here? What's that deer head doing in his toilet paper? Oh, he got the toilet paper, Grandpa. Thanks a lot, pal.
Now, here's the thing, though. This is probably the best one that they have come up with, so it goes downhill from here.
Oh no, that's the top of the line, folks.
All right, so next we'll talk. Well, I'll save him for last. We'll talk about this guy. You see him in the back? Yeah. I don't know if you can see him. He's that one with the red hair.
Yeah, Mohawk.
Yeah, his name is B negative.
B negative instead of B positive. B negative. Is that his blood type or what?
Well, he's a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
But
blood suckers.
And it was weird because when I first saw this character, I'm like, this already looks like another character that exists. Like, it looks like his son, Morbius. If you know who that is, that's a Spider-Man villain. He's a vampire. Anyway, so it turns out, basically that's what it is. It's not his actual son, but apparently this kid was in a car crash or something in his youth, and he had to get a blood transfusion, and they got it from Morbius, which gave this kid vampire powers, and he's really goth and depressed, and
he's B negative.
Yeah, that's like a play on the blood type, exactly.
How many of these are we gonna have?
We'll only have 3 more, and one of them's a combo. In fact, we'll go to the combo now.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's go over here. We've got the twins.
Couple of fruitcakes. Pink hair and blue hair. They're twins.
A lot of people have been talking about these two. Their names are Snowflake.
Oh, Snowflake.
And Safe Space.
Actually, I'm going to tell you now ahead of time, because of this, the next title to show 7 will be Snowflake. And I have the perfect music. You can look it up. Jim Reeves. Snowflake, you pretty little snowflake.
And Safe Space is the bigger one.
Safe Space, oh yeah. What a great name.
Alright, so let me tell you, I showed you guys the character. So, with Safe Space, what his ability is he can, apparently he's supposed to be the stereotypical jock, but people comment and say he doesn't really look like the stereotypical jock.
What I would picture.
But anyway, so his thing is he can produce pink balls that can protect people, but he can't protect himself.
No pun intended.
He can protect everybody but himself. That's his thing.
And he's a safe space for everybody else.
And Snowflake, and they really push this. This is the first non-binary character.
Oh my goodness.
In
non-binary, meaning, are you male, female? It's like Facebook tried to say, what was it, 72 genders? And the leftists and liberals try and say, us conservatives don't know science.
And so what Snowflake's ability is they can throw snowflake-shaped shurikens at people.
Oh, great.
And a lot of people have been talking about these two. And then I guess we'll get to the last one. You see him?
Yeah. Kind of weird. They're all weird looking.
Yeah, alright, I'll show you guys. That's what he looks like. He's Asian. I know it doesn't really matter, but that's what makes him a minority. They got all the minorities, and then they got the one white character in the back. But anyways, so kind
of like what I heard with Nancy Pelosi today. That's why she voted against the coronavirus help bill, because it was no guarantee that minorities would get help first. What's it matter what race you are? Get Americans the help, people. Impeach Nancy Pelosi, please.
Alright, so anyways, this character, his name is Screen Time. And basically, he's described as a meme-obsessed teen.
Meme-obsessed teen.
Can't get enough of
a mutt. A meme-obsessed teen. Just call him Mutt.
And
Mutt.
You know, his backstory is that when he was little, or younger, I guess, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
That gas will get you.
And it forever infused him with the internet.
Another one with Grandpa, too.
Yeah, it was weird.
Grandpa got the backpack, Grandpa got the gas.
And so get ready for this. You know what his superpower is?
Gas.
No. He can look up anything on Google.
He's a Google man.
That's all he can do. He can look stuff up on Google.
He's Google.
That's a superpower.
I can do that too. 99% of us can interviewing.
So, yeah, that's what we have to work.
Not much to look forward to there, my friends. Anyway, any parting words? I think we're going to have to end this one. We're running a little long.
Okay.
So let's have us a prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you again, Lord. Just thank you for the blessings you give us, that we're healthy, we're saved, Lord. Thank you for just protecting us. Thank you, Lord. You are the great physician. You know when and where and how the coronavirus will be stopped. Just pray for every person that's dealing with that, families. I just pray that you conquer the fear. You tell us in 2 Timothy 1:7, God does not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Help us to take that and use it to win the world for you. In Jesus' name, amen. And I'm going to give you a parting shot of 6 days on the road as we get out of here. Here he goes.
Oh,
come on, George. Go, George, go. I'm buffering. Come on, George.
6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
Adios, people.